But of course, he came back and said, that's the enemy. The enemy's trying to break us apart. And I said, you know what? The enemy don't want me to have no good-looking man. So I'm going to rebuke the enemy, and we're gonna work this out. So it brings me to Proverbs 26:11, where it says, like a dog that returns to his vomit is a fool who repeats his folly. So how many of us, we ask God for something, he shows us, and we still don't want to believe it?
All right.
Right? We say, Lord, I want your will, but it's really, I want your will as long as it's not my will. So that it's funny because after that, I still went back to God and said, okay, Lord, you showed me, but I don't know if this was a test, but show me for real this time. Like last time wasn't for real, but for real this time, Lord, show me, and I'll be obedient. So then she calls again. So it just goes to show that when God shows you things, you believe him the first time. Amen. But he loves us so much, he will continue to correct us. But how many of us, if you can learn the first time, we don't want to learn again? Am I right?
Amen.
So the next verse I have is Proverbs 11:30. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he who is wise wins souls. When we think about choices, the choices we make produce fruits. Some good fruits and some not so good fruits, right? So think about choices in your life. What fruits are you producing? If you want to be married, are you picking unavailable men? If you want to lose weight, are you going to the gym? Or are you eating whatever it is you want to eat? If you want a promotion, are you doing just enough? We talked about things, like I said earlier, that we don't have a choice about, but the things we do have a choice about. What are we doing, and what are the fruits? We like to say about all the things we want to do, but God, while he gives us instruction, he gives us free will.
Yes.
So we have to make sure that the choices that we are making are producing the fruits that we want.
Amen.
The next verse I'll have is Isaiah 45:2. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of brass and cut in sunder the bars of iron. So after I made that bad or not so good Big C choice, I thought I had just ruined my life. And how many of us, we make a choice, we know it's not good, and we think, God, this is our punishment. We're not going to get to where we want to go.
Amen.
Because we've gone so far off the path, you showed us we didn't do what we were going to do, so now it's just not going to happen. But how many of us know that we don't serve a God who says, you know what, you do one thing wrong and you're done? That ain't the God we serve. Here it says, I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. So even when we're all around here, God can still get us to where we want to go, regardless. The enemy tries to tell us, you muddied this up, you've done this for the last time. But as long as we have breath, as long as we can get up, we have an opportunity to make a different choice.
Amen.
And that is the blessing. That is the true blessing. And we serve a God who still wants to get us on the right path.
Amen.
Romans 8:28 says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. So, we hear that as women, especially women, we can have some of it, we can't have it all. You can have a good job, but your man gonna cheat. Or you can have a good man, but you're not gonna have a good job, or whatever the case is. But this says, and we know that all things work together for the good of them. So it brings home and it makes us know that regardless of what happens, he can make all good things good. It's not a dream. It's not, we're living in a world where people are very cynical. People are like, oh, you can have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. No, you can have it all. You can have it all because you serve the one who gives all to you. I thought that what I went through at the time, I thought I was cursed. Because a year prior to the date, my boyfriend at the time broke up with me. Same date. Same day. So I said, Lord, I don't know what I did in the past life, but I am cursed. Something's wrong. But we know that's just the enemy. We know that's the enemy. The journey that I've been on while it may not have been the best decision, it still brought me to be here to share this with you, to write this book, to be a testimony to those who think that they've gone so far off the path that they can't get back on. And we know that that's a lie. And we know that He works all things together for our good. So even when we do wrong, He's going to make it so we can be a blessing to somebody else.
Amen.
So we have to receive that. There's a peace that goes along with that. So when it comes to choosing, what warning signs are you missing? What has God tried to show you about something and you're just missing it? Whether you choose to miss it, whether you just did, whatever. What are you missing? In regard to relationships, have you taken the necessary time to get to know somebody? To know the character of someone? Have you witnessed how they treat others? Do they take you out and treat you nice and then they rude to the waiter? They don't talk to their mama. Nobody in the family like them.
All right.
Have you saw these things?
Come on.
When it comes to your list of non-negotiables, have you stayed true to that? We say we don't want a man to smoke, but he can smoke Marlboros on Friday, but that's okay. It's on Friday, and it's only 3 cigarettes. So that's okay.
All right.
You want a spiritual man, but he don't go to church. And that's not a prerequisite for spirituality, but I go, but he like, oh baby, you should catch me, we can go to brunch afterward. What is it that you're looking for, that you want? And as women, as men and women of God, what are non-negotiables that we feel like we have to negotiate? Anybody want to be honest here and be candid and think about some things? Discuss some things that they've negotiated on in the past? So we not cool like that? I'm sorry? Cohabitation.
No sex before marriage.
Yes, Lord.
Amen.
That's the thing, non-negotiable.
Amen.
Yes. Non-negotiable.
I got to go. Mother said amen.
Broke.
Yeah.
Broke. Non-negotiable.
Lord, yes. He ain't got no money. He can't take me nowhere. Non-negotiable. We don't care if he's creative.
That's right.
He needs to have money to take me on a date. Yes. She's being honest. We all been there. Lord knows I have been there. He's nice.
Yeah. You're not. Ain't got no money. Broke.
Yeah. PF Chang's don't like nice.
That's it.
They like cash.
They like
or
cash.
debit.
That's
or
it.
credit.
That's it.
Or something. So just think about those non-negotiables and don't put them in the back of your mind and don't think you can't find anybody because God has somebody for all of us. When it comes to choices, how do you react to adversity? We all have coping mechanisms. For me, I like to dive into work. I like to be busy. I like to be preoccupied. That can be good or bad. Anybody else? What are coping mechanisms that you have that you use? Do you like to eat? Do you like to exercise? What is it? Anybody?
I like to watch TV.
Like to watch TV.
Shop.
Shop. Yes.
Shop.
Shop.
I'm a runner.
You're a runner. Avoidance. We got to think about these choices because you can't run from anything. It's gonna be there whether you. So I'd rather take mine now and get through it.
Amen.
So, but we have a choice in that. So we just want to make sure we make the right decisions. After my engagement ended, I had a friend call me, and we had a mutual friend who got in a very bad accident. Literally the next day. And I mean, he's fighting for his life. And at the time, I was like, look, I don't want to have a pity party for me. I'm sorry you're in the hospital. I ain't trying to.
All right.
But God said no. Sometimes you think that what you're going through is so big and you need somebody.
Come on now.
And what you are going through is minuscule. So if you can be a blessing to somebody when you're in need, how much would God love to say, well done, child, when you can serve somebody else
Right.
when you're going through something?
Amen.
What choices are you avoiding? Who haven't you forgiven?
Come with it.
Who haven't you apologized to? Who haven't you reached out to? What haven't you completed? We like to, when we're going through something, we like to be victim. Woe is me. Why me, Lord? Please, I don't understand. But who are we not forgiving? Who do we have to forgive? Who do you have to apologize to? Who haven't you reached out to? And what task has God given you and you just haven't done it for whatever reason? Anybody want to volunteer?
Which question?
Any of them. For me, and I talk about it in this book, I hadn't forgiven my father. This whole experience helped me see him in a different light. Because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all make mistakes, every last one of us. And I like to say that we're all the villain. We're the villain in somebody else's story. Somewhere we have done somebody wrong.
Absolutely.
Somebody might be writing a book called De-Altercation about me after this one. I did. So it just goes to show that even when we're going through something, there could be something else that we haven't worked through. And how can what you've gone through be a blessing to somebody?
Amen.
Anybody want to share? Because we naked, right? We took off. Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
share. Especially talking about forgiveness, who I have not forgiven. For a long time, I would speak to my brother. A lot of people who know me now didn't even know I had a brother. But in my head, I really thought I had forgiven him. I really did. But I was actually just waiting for something bad to happen. So whenever somebody felt me like, oh, your brother, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I thought verbally and maybe mentally that I did forgive him, but I really didn't. And then a few years ago, one day, I went to the mailbox and I got some money. And I hadn't talked to my brother for years. And something just said to me, you know what? You ought to go send him $100 because I know you will. And I did it. And then I called him. And when I called him, before I could even tell him what I had just done, that I sent him money, he said, oh, sis, I'm so glad. He said, you think you could help me out? I need $100 so bad.
Wow.